Hey fellas, it is Labor Day, and Labor Day is a brewing day at my house. So I'm sitting here in my garage and brewing up a wit. You can see I hit my strike temperature, so I should cover that up pretty quickly here before it starts to drop in temperature. It's a little late in the season for a wit, so I did add some extra to the grain bill. I've got extra pound of Pilsner I threw in there. Also made sure I had some other additions to give it a little extra body and mouth feel. So I've got a pound of flaked oats, a pound of flaked barley, a pound of flaked wheat. So that should help. And of course I added a pound of rice hulls because that's going to be a little bit of a sticky mess. So I don't want to get a stuck sparge. So even though I'm coming at you from my garage in Ellicott City, Maryland, I did recently take a trip to Iceland, which was awesome. Iceland has a burgeoning craft beer scene, just like a lot of places. And so I did try out as much craft beer as I could. It was a little challenging just because of schedule, and honestly the prices are high in Iceland, so didn't get a chance on this family trip. It was with a big group, so there were 10 of us between two families, so trying to hit a bunch of places was a little challenging, but thought I'd share today a couple of those clips and give you some experience on what's happening with beer in Iceland. So stick with me. Iceland is an amazing place full of natural wonders. We spent just over a week driving around the entire island, which gave us plenty of flexibility about what to do and see. If you are someone who loves to hike, explore varied terrain, and see waterfalls, caves, glaciers, volcanoes, and black sand beaches, you'll love Iceland. The country is mostly uninhabited, with 2/3 of the fewer than 350,000 citizens living in or close to the capital of Reykjavik. The sheep fill in the gaps. But there are plenty of videos on YouTube about Iceland travel, so let's get to the beer. The first opportunity to try some local beer came in the town of Veeck in the southwest of Iceland, less than an hour from Reykjavik. We stopped at a brewery and pizza restaurant called Berk, which was conveniently located directly across from our hotel. This is probably a good time for me to quickly apologize for my pronunciation of Icelandic names and places. Anyway, as much as we wanted to sit down and enjoy a meal and a beer, there was just no way with a group of 10 that we were going to get a table. This place was pretty popular, and also not that big. So we ordered some beers and sat outside while waiting for our pizza as carryout. So we're trying out some Iceland beer. We're here at Veeck. We got an ESB, we got a pitcher for the table here, just to try it out. We do pizza. It's certainly one of the more expensive beers I've had, but hey, it's Iceland, right? Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty fruity actually for an ESB, but smooth, not too bitter. Pretty good. Our next beer spot was on the south coast in a town called Veeck. There's a brewery and restaurant called Smithjan Brughus. They weren't yet selling their own beers, but they were close. And they had a nice selection of other Icelandic brews that you could buy in flights. It was a really cool place with great music and an industrial feel. Everyone really enjoyed it.
The food was also good here. The video goes past the menu too quickly to read, but they serve mostly burgers. Burgers with a side of fries are about $25 US, which is actually one of the less expensive meals we ate out.
Going to be online in about 3 weeks, so we're a teeny bit early, but we'll try the other beers that they've got. All right, so I'm just going to take a moment. Got the this is like a quinoa and kale veggie burger, vegan burger with fries. All right. Alan forgot to order one beer. I'm sorry. No, you didn't forget to get a beer. Yeah, exactly. You forgot Abigail's meal. Are you upset, Abigail?
Beer's more important.
Okay, all right. All right. What's the verdict?
Pretty good.
Okay, all right.
Not good as Jeff's.
Well, come on.
The next stop on our beer journey was in Aelstuthier at our hotel bar. Before heading out for dinner, we decided to taste another couple of local beers. Austri is brewed in the same town, so that seemed to be a good one to try.
Okay, so we're in the hotel lobby here and a glacier or something. It's not even close to how they pronounce it, but we're trying out some other beers at happy hour, so these are only $7, half price, so that's pretty good. And so we're trying out this Austri Brughaus. I think that's Icelandic for brewery. And we ordered a couple. The first one we ordered was the Irish Red. I think that was not particularly hoppy. It was definitely under hopped, but we have, this is the extra special bitter. Definitely better than the Irish Red. They also did an IPA. Oh, we also, well, yeah, okay, you slid in this one. This is gull, but it's pronounced something like gull in Icelandic, so, but most people just say gull, who are tourists, certainly. That's more kind of your average lager. This is the IPA. It's got a nice aroma. Not particularly hoppy, but definitely drinkable. So some good options. Anyway, that's the update for tonight.
Toward the end of our trip, we drove through a town called Akureyri. I was excited to see what looked to be a hip beer bar and tried to sneak in a quick tasting while others were at lunch, but it didn't quite work out.
Unfortunately, I'm a little early, I guess, here for the beer lounge. They don't open for another couple hours. Oh well. Not sure what beer they have on tap. Zoom in. Too bad. I don't think we're going to stay around here for long enough to try it out.
For our last night in Iceland, we drove back to Reykjavik, and we had a beer stop that didn't include beer at all. I went with some of the older kids to a Big Lebowski themed restaurant. This is one of my favorite movies, so of course I couldn't resist the opportunity to go there.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
It was full of both some obvious and subtle movie references. We didn't see any nihilists, and the room was really tied together. We drank White Russians, of course.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed that quick overview of Iceland and my opportunity to try out some of the local beers there. I actually had a pretty long list of breweries and beer bars to hit, and just because of the schedule, there was no way to go to very many of them. So I'm disappointed that I didn't see more, but maybe that's an opportunity for a future trip. So in the meantime, I'm back in the U.S. This wit that I was brewing is nearly done fermenting. It's bubbling every 15-30 seconds or so, something like that. So I'll be cold crashing that soon, kegging it up, and maybe I'll share with you in an upcoming video how that turned out. In the meantime, I hope that you're drinking something good or maybe brewing something good, so cheers.